most basic level, Saward Dawson is a bunch of chartered accountants who hang out in Blackburn, in Melbourne. There are 65 of us, and at the end of the day, I'm one of 5 partners. At least part of what we do is about not-for-profits. About 3/4 of my business is making sure that my not-for-profit audit clients, internal audit clients, and consulting clients actually are making the right decisions in terms of the key changes that they're facing, key challenges that they need to adapt to, and I guess probably some of the key issues that they face in the short, medium and long term. Part of our role is about making sure that we're aware of the key changes that may affect our clients. Part of our role is about making sure that we advise them intelligently in terms of some of those changes. Yeah. So, key question here, I guess, is what are some of the key changes in terms of disability service providers adapting to the NDIS in the pre-2016, maybe through to 2019 period? For me, NDIS is actually part of a much, much bigger marketisation program in terms of community supports and services. This is effectively where the vast majority of the Commonwealth purchased community support service system is being marketised and individualised. It means that people need to be individually accountable for the services and supports that they provide. They need to prove that their services and supports are fit for purpose and value for money. This is a massive challenge for the vast majority of our support suppliers. And that's not just about disability, it's also about community health, it's about mental health, it's about consumer-directed aged care. And this marketisation is happening right across our client base. This is a really, really interesting time. What are the key challenges and changes for disability support providers? Well, I guess there are a couple. First, the vast majority of the supply system doesn't understand the effectiveness measures that the agency, NDIA, will value in the longer term. What is fit for purpose? Are you good at what you do and can you prove it? Yes or no? Second thing, the vast majority of our suppliers don't have a good understanding on an individual level of costs, drivers, prices and unique value propositions. Really important stuff in the very, very short term. Third, the vast majority of our suppliers have got a working capital and cash flow issue. Moving from a predominantly funded in advance system to a predominantly funded in arrears system is going to mean that there are going to be lower levels of cash available to the vast majority of people in disability support supply. That's a big news story and it's something that is going to require some reform in the very, very short term. For mine, this is about people in community supports, possibly for the first time, understanding that they need a balanced toolkit. It can't just be about the delivery of supports anymore. It has to be about delivery of supports in a commercially disciplined way, at outstanding quality levels within the framework of the requirements of the purchase supports from NDIA. It's a bit of a new game. Where's the shock going to be is the key question. In terms of most of our clients, this is the first time that the vast majority of our not-for-profit clients have competed in a commensurate market system. They haven't had to understand unique value propositions, they haven't had to understand where their key products are, they haven't had to develop support products at all in any way, shape or form. So to even view support as a product is a really big deal for some of our suppliers. That is going to be a huge mind shift. Business intelligence, another key issue. Currently, your clients actually don't have much of a capacity to choose or change. Despite portability in Victoria and in New South Wales and in Tasmania, the vast majority of supported participants don't know how to change. Under the new system, most of the power shifts to the participant, and obviously that changes pretty much everything from the supplier's perspective. But a word of encouragement perhaps to some suppliers. Some of this change and challenge looks very large, very scary and very fast. Ultimately, NDIS is the best chance that Australia has to deliver genuine human rights to those living with a substantive disability over time. We have no plan B as a nation, and in some senses my encouragement to you would be, let's make sure that this works. That'll only happen by good people doing the right things at the right times. What are the first steps in terms of adaptation to an NDIS system? I guess for mine, there are probably 5 key things that I'd think about. A lot of people in this industry are captured by fear and uncertainty and change. Leaders are readers and therefore my encouragement to you would be read as much as you can, as early as you can, and as thoroughly as you can. Invest time in working to understand the market, to understand what's going to change, how it's going to change, and the key implications for your particular business. So reading and understanding is important. That is responsibility of every leader in this sector. Please invest time in it. I know that this industry is famous for sacrificing the important for the urgent. The urgent always seems to win. But reading is important. This is the largest change in a generation. So in some senses, trying to make sure that you dispel the risks and the myths and the fear very rapidly and very thoroughly by great quality research and reading. That's the first point. Second, tone at the top. Very, very important. Make sure that you've got a skills-based board who is also doing their reading, who is also understanding what a commensurate insurance-based disability system is going to look like, who understand the key pressures and who are going to be willing for you to plan strategically and to allocate resources in a way that will make this business work in the longer term. Tone at the top is going to be really important. Third, go through the process of doing a gap analysis. Current state, future state. It's very simple stuff. Current state here in Victoria, DHS's funding inclusion rate of roughly $42 an hour. The long-term efficient market price is $36.75. That's a big gap. The effectiveness piece that you are going to be accountable for in the longer term is also a very significant issue. So understanding how the market is going to change, how consumers are going to force you to change in terms of adapting, co-designing products and actually doing innovation intelligently and consistently, really, really important stuff. So, a gap analysis is important. Now, for some of you, you're sitting there saying, well, hang on, Tim, I don't even know where to start. My advice in terms of gap analysis is this: do your reading first, then hopefully some of the gap analysis will perhaps pop out. If you don't have the resources to do the gap analysis intelligently, buy them in and listen to them carefully. Fourth thing, probably to consider, just briefly. After you've done your gap analysis, to build consistent 100-day plans that between now and 2016 see you well prepared for some of the key changes, I think that becomes really important. Why am I suggesting 100-day plans? Well, the time for long-term 3 to 5 year strategic plans is gone. This is a significant change time, and change is happening rapidly and unpredictably. So shortening up that period and making people far more aware of and far more, accountable to changes being made in real time in business is super important for mine. Fifth and final thing, I guess, from my perspective, good people doing the right things at the right time for the right reasons in this industry is the only way this scheme will work. As I travel around the country, I hear many of the more experienced practitioners in this industry saying it is a great time to retire. Now is not the time to retire. Now is the time to actually make genuine differences in terms of human rights through this scheme. And actually, we need well-experienced, good-thinking practitioners to do their job, to do it thoroughly and do it on a timely basis. Try and keep your thought leaders together. Try and make sure that enterprises are more disciplined over time by making sure that you've got the right people in the right positions doing the right things at the right times. They're my 5 things.